Hey guys, Mitch from IGN. Halo 4's Spartan Ops is starting up again with episode 6 of 10 for the first season. We're sitting down with David Ellis to talk about his upcoming missions.
Yeah,
how you doing, David?
We're sitting here in the office here at 343. It's kind of crazy being in here, and everyone's a little more low-key than it was a few months ago when we were all running around like crazy finishing this game off.
You guys are still working hard though. You just had a big break over the holiday.
Yeah, I was able to take a little time off, but it's nice that we were able to show off some of the fruits of our labors here with showing a little bit of Spartan Ops.
And you're coming into 2013 swinging. You guys are bringing back Spartan Ops, episodes 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. What can you tell me about episode 6? Because there are some pretty significant changes to Spartan Ops this time around.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's been millions of people who have been playing Spartan Ops since the game came out. The response has been really overwhelmingly positive. We've been really happy that people have seemed to enjoy what we're doing. But there were definitely some feedback, both good and negative, that we've taken in and sort of distilled into what we're making this time around. Episode 5 definitely left on a cliffhanger, both in the CG series but also the gameplay. And so we have a lot of questions that need answering, and so we start answering some of them in episode 6, and of course it wouldn't be serialized unless we started asking more questions after we answered a few of them. Episode 6 kind of kicks off your at the end of episode 5, Crimson is sort of being overwhelmed by Covenant sources, being taken over by overwhelmingly Covenant force, and we don't know if they've been killed or captured, and so you're kind of picking up here. You discover that you actually have been captured, and so for one of the first times we started off, you actually see that the opening vignette's in first person, and you actually get a chance to see your squad in the vignette, which we haven't been able to do too much, and it was one of the nice things about having some more resources. Some of the campaign animation and vignettes team kind of came off of the campaign. We were able to work on Spartan Ops, and so some of the artists as well. So you can definitely see the fruits of those labors with this second half of the Spartan Ops season. Of course, you got all new environments. That was a big thing.
Finally, we've been very critical of Spartan Ops and the repeated environment, so it's nice to go somewhere else.
Yeah, so we have new environments, and I think we've been smarter about how we've created these environments and making them more modular, so that, you know, when you do come back to a space, there's going to be the things and parts of it that you haven't seen before, and things that are going to still surprise you, even maybe in the second or third time you come back to a space. We also have environments that you'll see that are much bigger than things we've done in the previous half of the season, and some are pretty epic in the scale that we're dealing with.
They feel a lot more like Halo 4 campaign levels than the typical Spartan Ops spaces that we see, which are mostly just arenas, right? Like you have this small space and you have different things you can do in it with like smaller vehicles or whatever, but now they're a lot more complicated, they're multi-tiered, they open up in different ways. There's a lot to it now.
Yeah, and I think we were able to be a little more ambitious with the second half of the season because we did have those more resources, whether it's the art team. We also had some of the designers come over from the campaign team. They wanted to keep working on some stuff. They hadn't done everything they wanted to do in this Halo 4 world, and so that was a lot of fun. They were able to bring some fresh ideas into it as well. But I think just in general, we were able to be a little more creative as far as what we could do. We had proven the kind of tech and the process of actually putting these missions together, rapidly creating them, and we could take a little more risks in what we were doing with it. And obviously, we were able to work with the narrative team much closer this time around. So there's much more of a direct connection between the CG episodes and the missions themselves. They still do sort of have these parallel storylines that don't always intersect, but when they do, we've tried to make them very meaningful. And I think especially as you progress from episode 6 and to episode 7, we do that in a very direct way. And so that's actually pretty exciting, and can't wait to see how people react to kind of the stuff we're doing this time around.
Thanks. I mean, thanks for hanging out, David. We're really, really looking forward to seeing how you guys use this new direction and integrating the gameplay elements of the story a lot closer, which is very clear in episode 6. I can't wait to see how it goes through 7, 8, 9, and 10.
And lots of big vehicle spaces. People love vehicles. They like big sandbox environments, and so we definitely have a lot of those coming your way as well.
Right on. Looking forward to it. Thanks, David.